Hello everyone, good evening. Can you please turn off your mics, guys? I'm here now. Let's start the class. Okay. Hey guys, I couldn't take the class last week, so that's why I'm taking this class today. Have you seen the topic for today? Everyone, have you seen the topic for today? We'll take a short class of 30-35 minutes, but have you seen the topic for today? What is the topic for today? Tell me. Tell me what is the topic for today, guys. Come on. Medical writing. Papa, medical writing is the course name or diploma name, I believe. Promotional and medical communication. Very nice. Promotional and medical communication review. Okay. So I have a question here for all of you. What is promotional medical communication? Let's remove the end here. What is the promotional medication or medical content, if I say, or communication? So what is that? Can someone tell me first? What is promotional medical communication? Tell me, guys. Anyone? Do you even know this is the task of medical writer? Yes? Do you know this is the task
Medical
of...
companies promote their products, marketing
Yes.
their products.
Yes. Okay. So what medical writers do there? Yes, Juveria. What medical writers do there? Anyone else? What medical writers do there? And what medical reviewers do there? Communication and build partnership with building attractive content by building attractive content. Okay, evaluating the product, writing the promotional vlogs, leaflets or product monograph. Yes, leaflets or product monographs. Okay, anyone else? What is marketing or promotional content, promotional medical content? Give me 5 examples of promotional medical content. Yes, fast. Give me 5 examples of medical promotional content or promotional medical content. Leaflets, product monograph, okay. Slide decks, okay. You have already written present leaflets, okay. Fine. Anything else? Yes, Adnan. Anything? Okay. Others? Yes, guys. Okay. Fine. Leaflets, slide decks, product monographs, and what else? Have you seen the hoardings? Hoardings, TV ads, media paper ads. Have you seen those? Media ads, print media ads, Instagram, nowadays social media ads, not health tips, not social media health tips. I'm talking about medical drug related or medicine related promotional content, which is legit. Okay. Not the health tips or food tips. I'm talking about like drug related medical content. If you are a medical reviewer or medical writer in an industry or in a pharmaceutical firm or in a CRO, then what else? Yes. Have you seen the hoardings or print media or Instagram, LinkedIn, that's there. That is also the medical promotional content. Okay. And then what else? Have you seen the packaging? Packaging. Yes, infographics, packaging. Have you seen the drug packet? See, drug packaging is different and labeling is different. You know that? What is the difference between labeling and packaging? Tell me, guys. Questions. Real time questions. Are you understanding, everyone? Only two, three people communicate here, two, three people participate in the chat. Rest all are not participating. I don't know you are understanding or not. See, I always try in my classes now that I come up with the real time scenarios, real time case for, case examples. Okay, and I tell you what practical things are related to subject. Otherwise, I could have come with the slides. I have slides as well. I come up with the slides, five, six slides, prepared by some AI tools, right? I just give them the prompt what I want and they give, right? I have the slides also. I'll share with you guys. Not a problem. But what I do in my class now, I talk to you very rational, very important, and very practical. So, what is the difference between packaging and labeling, guys? Labeling is done on container or leaflet, and packaging is done on the outer covering or box. Okay. Okay. So, fine. Labeling contains details of the drug, packaging is the drug folder. Okay. So, there is something written on the packaging also. Have you seen the content on packaging also? What is the content on packaging? Just think of a drug strip, not the paper cover, just drug strip, the tablets or capsule inside and the, that full strip. What content do you see on that? Did you ever see, being a pharmacist, being a healthcare professional, did you ever see what is written on the drug content maybe? Have you ever seen? Okay, okay. Regarding drug information, API is whether the drug are scheduled drug or not, brand name, content, API acceptance, what is the formulation contents, brand logo, name, commercial purposes. Okay, see, I have got some, drugs. See, this is a packaging. Sorry, I think okay, this is now clearly visible. This is nitrofurantoin tablet. This is the package of nitrofurantoin tablet. Okay, can you see this? There is a full-fledged, you know, information leaflet on this. Full-fledged information leaflet on this. You must have seen, right? Full-fledged leaflet. In this, I can see many things are written. You have written very nicely, manufacturing details, content of the drug, strength, precautions, date of manufacturing, expiry date, address of manufacturing unit, storage. So let me see. Nitrofurantoin capsule, Niftran 100 mg, 10 capsules. Okay. Each hard gelatin capsule contains, okay. The excipients are there. Dose as per direction by physician. Capsule should not be swallowed whole with liquid and not to be chewed or crushed. Store at temperature not exceeding 25 degrees Celsius. Protect from moisture. Scheduled H prescription drug. Caution not to be sold by retail without the prescription of a registered medical practitioner. These are the main instructions written. Why these things are written here? Yes, can someone tell me why these things are written here? Otherwise, they could have written the price, they could have written the, could have mentioned only the manufacturing date 7/2023, expiry date, manufacturing license number, manufacturing in India for patient safety, manufactured by, okay. And did you see this? See this. There is something called this QR code. There is something called QR code. Why this QR code is there in every drug, on every drug's packaging or labeling? Why? I'm just showing you this. See this. Did you see this? Did you ever check this oral rehydration? See the same information on this. Same information on this. Okay, ceftriaxone tablet. I had these drugs in house. Ceftriaxone, Kefport CV, same thing. Many things are written on this. This is Glenmark medicine. That's okay. Now, my question is what the medical writer or a reviewer should keep in mind when they are writing this print drug information for a drug. I am asking do's and don'ts. Do's and don'ts. Tell me, guys, what should be the do's and what should be the don'ts when you are writing the, you know, what is called drug information for the packaging? Yes, my question is this, which is relevant to our task. Yes, more information about particular drug that is there. Clear instructions in a simple language. Okay. Yes, tell me do and don'ts, guys. Fast, fast. We don't have much time. Yes. Why is this? Tell me. Yes, people, fast, fast. Safety measures, patient safety. Do's all information that are required for patient safety. Okay. Okay. See this. Now tell me, after reading this information, tell me why these things are written, everything on this. Yes, guys. And see, as you told about content, what we should keep in mind when you're writing, right? This content. Do's are ensuring proper use of drug, safety measures, patient safety. Okay. What else? You are touching 1 point out of five. You know, you have just touched 1 point out of 5 points. Yes. In do's and don'ts, there are many, but the major 5 points, you have touched only one. What else we should take care of? Yes, guys, use of drug. Okay. Anything else? See, if you check this drug, again, pain relieving cream, non greasy, non staining, ultra light, nighttime scent, deep penetrating pain relief, name, and all the features. Okay. See, what you have missed here is they have all the content as per the patient safety. First point, right? Patient safety. And second most important term, which you forgot, legal. They should not be, or the content should not be out of legal scope. And third, regulatory scope or regulatory guidelines. The content, whatever you are writing, should not go out of the regulatory content. Okay, or regulatory guidelines. What is there? Patient safety, as you are telling. Okay, legal, regulatory, and the fourth important part. Why everything is important is false information. The data should be accurate. Okay. I mean, that is a part of definitely patient safety, accurate data, correct information. I mean, these are the part of patient safety, but what are the five pillars we usually see? Accuracy, the correctness, what we say, then the legally aligned, regulatory aligned, and then what else, guys? And then what else? What else? Along with accurateness, what else should be there? Tell me. Simple language. Simple language is one of the biggest term what we usually use in the promotional contents, okay, or in labeling. Okay. And it should be, I mean, simple language and clearly visible. That is one thing. Okay. Again, clearly visible. It should not be misleading, misguiding, or any type of thing which is not clearly written or clearly mentioned or clearly visible. Okay. See, this you have seen those things I have showed you. Okay. Those things I already showed you. Now let me show you this also. Okay. There are many things, but let me show you this. Okay. Let me share this. Okay, with you so you can understand it better. See, here, check. The art and science of medical communication, a comprehensive guide for medical writers and reviewers covering what it is, what to do, and what to avoid. Okay, what to do, what to avoid, promotional and medical communication review. See, the important part here: accuracy, clarity, integrity, and adherence to ethical and regulatory standards. Ethical means legal also, and regulatory means safer, safety. Okay, see, so crafting clear, accurate, compliant, scientific, and medical information for diverse audiences, regulatory bodies, healthcare professionals, patient. So when we are writing the promotional content or medical content, it should be aligning to every stakeholder. What are our stakeholders? First stakeholder, guys. First stakeholder is patient. Okay. Second stakeholder is who? Second stakeholder is regulatory affairs. I mean, regulatory bodies like in India, who is our regulatory body? Yes, guys. Maybe you forgot from last class. Who is our regulatory body in India? Yes, CDSCO. And who runs the CDSCO? Who runs the CDSCO? Who runs the CDSCO? Who is the head of CDSCO? Yes, who is the head of CDSCO? That is called DCGI. What is DCGI? Drug Controller General of India. Okay. DCGI is the head of CDSCO, right? So, what we take here is, see, first of all, our stakeholder is patient because ultimate user and the end user is patient. And the second part, regulatory, which looks into the safety, which looks into the safety, which looks into the clinical trials, which looks into the scientific accurateness, which looks into the scientific content which is done or which is gathered through the multiple clinical trials or multiple aspects or evidence based content. Okay. And then other healthcare professionals, whoever is using, either that is a student using the data for their knowledge, whether those are academicians teaching with that data, whether doctors which are following those guidelines which has these content or data, right? Or maybe anyone, healthcare professionals, right? Those could be there. And then the government is also there, government of like when they create the guidelines, when they create the things based on the evidence based content, right? Based on the evidence based content. So federal governments also are also the you know the people who use this data, who use the medical content. Okay. And when I'm talking about medical content, that is not only the promotional, that is not only relevant to your packaging or labeling, but that comes for all the media types of the data and the drug monographs. The main important there is drug monographs. Have you, seen any drug monographs? We'll see. Like, okay. So medical writing people have to deal with everything. Same with the medical review, because medical review is someone, as I told you in the last classes, medical reviewer is someone who critically evaluate or assess your product. Product means your content. Okay. Whatever is written by you, the paragraph, the, scientific paper, or the, CSR report, case safety report, or maybe individual case safety report, or maybe the clinical safety report or clinical trial report. Okay. Or maybe it could be any paper, it could be any regulatory document, it could be any, promotional content, whatever. So medical reviewers are there to criticize it, to critically evaluate or critically assess it, right? So medical reviewers means they critically evaluate those documents to ensure what? Scientific integrity. If the content is correct, content should not be misleading or misguiding. Okay. And then content should be accurate, clear, simple language. Okay. It should be clear and simple. Then adherence of the data is very, very important for, ethical and regulatory standards. Okay. Together, they form the backbone of trustworthy medical communication. Together, medical writers and medical reviewers. See, can you imagine, medical writers and medical reviewers are two pillars of any scientific communication or any medical communication which comes out, at least in the top MNCs and good big companies which really care, about the patient safety, which really care about the regulatory, which really don't want to falsify the data, right? So that's why there is no, you know like there are multiple job roles. The crucial role of medical writer: accuracy is paramount, definitely. All scientific facts, data, and references must be correct and up to date. So references are very, very important. You cannot just claim anything in medical content writing. In medical content writing, when you are writing, you cannot just claim anything. You have to, put it with facts. You have to put it with facts. Why you cannot claim it? Because if you are claiming something, that can be going as a guideline, that can be going as a reference, and that reference can be, used for the patient treatment, or someone's health can be on stake while or after using that content, right? So that's why the referencing is very, very important. Like, from where, what kind of data you have taken, what kind of data you have collected, what kind of data you are, citing, because citation or referencing is one of the very important pillar of medical writing, right? You cannot claim, remember this, you cannot simply claim that, and you cannot say, oh, no, 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 I was seeing this newspaper yesterday morning, or maybe I was seeing the news last night and I, heard of this, and claiming that. That is not the correct word, correct, practice of a medical writing or a medical reviewer. Okay. Correct practice is, till you get the correct referencing, you get the correct article, you get the correct supportive content or supportive literature. Okay. That is the the important part. So anyone will say anything, or anyone will, ask you anything to write something. So you have to always, be scientifically correct and ethically correct. Okay. So scientifically correct and factually correct also, right? If the facts are not correct, then, you can put, many things on stake, not only your medical writing job, but, patient's life, guidelines, regulatory, everything, right? So that is very, very important. Okay. And then clarity for the audience. Tailor the language and complexity to the intended reader, from specialist physicians to the patient. So as I, always tell, whenever you are writing a paper, scientific paper, you should just not look into the, tough language. Okay. You should not write it in the, very hi-fi complex language, or you should not write it into the jargons, or the tough words like Karan Johar or Sashi Tharoor, right? You should not use those words, because the audience is vital here, and audience is not only the vital, but audience is wide also audiences from different domains, different qualifications, and different areas, right? And definitely their status is also different. Someone could be the patient, and the patient could be a highly educated professional, or maybe a worker, right? Or maybe someone who is illiterate, right? So, or maybe someone who is the first year student, right? Or anyone it could be, like from Nobel laureate to a simple man, common man, it could be, right? So that's why we should always, our first focus is whenever, not only the content writing or scientific writing, but anywhere when you are communicating with the ordinary people, your language should be perfect. Okay, your language should be very clear and not complex. Okay, then compliances with the guidelines like ICH GCP, journal specific guidelines if you are publishing something, or maybe the uh, you know nowadays we have all type of guidelines in India also, and outside also, for the content writing also. When you're writing the original paper, we have MRAT guidelines. When you're writing review paper, we have some other guidelines. So like there is no lack of guidelines. Everywhere there are guidelines. Okay, so you should be very careful in using the guidelines and following those guidelines, because guidelines are the keys. Okay, guidelines are the keys, and we should be aligning with the guidelines. And see, not only the compliance with guidelines, but main thing is regulatory documentation, regulatory instructions. If you're writing some content, writing the promotional content or something, you should keep in mind. Acha, now many my I have one very important question for all of you. Can someone tell me two names of the recently banned drugs, or recently removal of medical related content? Yes, give me two examples fast. You all are Gen Z, I totally understand. And you have very better hold on Instagram and LinkedIn, right? So I'm expecting not only two but more than two examples of recent removal of the content, or recent instructions, or maybe the withdrawal of the drug from the market. Fast, guys, fast. Diclofenac, Nimoslide is not very recent. Nimoslide is years. Okay, Nimoslide is years. Okay, so why? Okay, then why it is? Tell me why, and what was the reason? Yes, tell me, guys, what was the reason? Diclofenac, okay, Nimoslide, Diclofenac, but what was the reason? Tell me what was the reason. Yes, guys. Yes, tell me what was the reason, guys. Fast. Liver toxicity, ranitidine. Okay, ranitidine is there. Codeine cough syrup. Why codeine cough syrup? Yes, why codeine cough syrup? Why codeine cough syrup is the example. Yes, what was the problem in that? Okay, I will tell you. See, I am telling you something very, uh, asking very simple questions actually. Okay, see, codeine cough syrup, these are the clinical trial based issues. Okay, and definitely these people also did not know that the long term use of diclofenac, or long term use of codeine, or long term use of ranitidine can be very toxic to the human body. Okay, very toxic to the human body, maybe to the liver, or maybe to the kidney, right? They did not know, and then the medical information what they claimed that time was correct, based on the based on what? Correct, based on the clinical trials. Okay, and these safety concerns rose later. These came later, right? So these safety concerns came later, right? But now if you look into your Instagram, okay, and you must have seen there is one doctor, lady doctor, who was talking about the false claims of Johnson and Johnson's ORS. Have you heard of this? Have you seen of this? Yes. Have you seen this ORS? Have you seen this ORS fight? Did you see it? That is the biggest example of false information. Okay. One of the biggest example right now for the false information. You know, I forgot the name of the lady doctor, but I'm following that news very well that this ORS, they are writing something else on the paper, on the leaflet, on the information, on the packaging. See, where from where everything is combined now, everything has come to one place. The false information, the medical writer or the medical reviewer have not done their job correctly. Either, maybe, definitely they are working for the industry, they are working for Johnson and Johnson, and they have to write, they have to claim because they have to sell their product, but everything is like not correct, right? In that, everything is not correct because, yeah, Dr. Sivaranjani, yes, I forgot her name. Yeah, so I mean, see how important the content is. See, even I am telling you, we used to use ORS when I was a kid. Since then, we are using the ORS. And now they have come up with a new name, right? ERZS. Okay. And that is again the same thing, just new packaging. Okay. So the falsification of data and misinterpreting the data, misinterpretation of the data has happened here. That is a critical issue. That is a critical issue. And from where that has come? Have you seen this? Have you noticed this? So, see, this is a very good practical learning. Okay. Like when you see what is the fight about, right? And fight is about the content because they are claiming the wrong thing on their package. They are claiming the wrong thing. That is not at all true. That is not at all true. They are claiming the wrong thing, right? So that is a problem, correct? That is a problem, and that can be coming to the patient safety, the kids safety, and kids are getting different problems after that. And I mean, that can lead to multiple other problems and multiple other safety concerns of the patient. And who is the patient here? Kids are the patient here, not patient. Kids are the user here. Kids are the user here. Okay. So now tell me another thing, another one example of this from your, from your Instagram. Yes. Yes. Any other example? Do you know any other example, guys? Do you know any other example? Have you heard of misinformation? China has launched a very critical or very hard or harsh guidelines for social media users. Do you know what are those things and why they have come up with that guidelines? Because see, medical review, medical writing is worldwide. Okay. And giving the false information also is a problem. Yes. What is the China issue? What kind of very harsh guidelines China has brought for the weight loss? Okay, now what are the guidelines? What are the guidelines says for the social media? Yes, guys. What are the guidelines says? Yes, guidelines says without having a doctor degree, without having a correct degree, you cannot talk about health related aspects on social media. You cannot talk on the weight loss, mental health, and multiple things they have mentioned in that guidelines, that you cannot talk about those things without having a medical degree. Okay. So see, this might not be directly linked with the, your medical writing or medical reviewing, but definitely this is the falsification of false narration or falsification of data about health related problems, about the diseases. This is a misguiding, right? This is the misguiding information. Okay. So many things, if you look at the examples, there are multiple examples which can lead to the problem. See, the medical reviewers, guardian of quality. So medical reviewers, always I am getting this question from you also. What are the job options? I'm telling you guys, there are plenty of jobs. If you are expert of your subject, if you are expert of your subject, there are plenty of jobs. Plenty means plenty. Okay, you just have to be very sharp in your job. See, when I'm talking about medical promotional content, that does not mean you should not just stick to the promotion means marketing. Not at all. That means there are multiple things, right? So, medical reviewers waiting for accuracy. So, medical reviewers again check the content, very scientific content, verifying the scientific data, verifying the scientific content, statistical analysis thoroughly. So everything must be checked properly. The information should not go wrong at all. See, maybe medical writer has done something wrong. Maybe, see, what is the task of medical reviewer here? Medical reviewer just not see that if the content is written correctly or not. Medical reviewer checks if the content, if they feel it suspicious, they go and check, they audit the data collection, they audit the investigator sheets, they audit the patient files, and then they get it and then they correct it. So if maybe the see, as the medication error can happen at any level, right? Medication error can happen at any level. Any level means it can happen at nurse level, it can happen at doctor's level, it can happen at physician, I mean the pharmacist level. I mean at any level medication error can happen. So the writing error also can happen at any level. Maybe the statisticians forgot to put the point, maybe the person who is writing, medical writer, maybe the person who is giving the information, or maybe the person who is collecting the information. That could be a problem, right? That could be a problem. So the medical reviewer is the last key. I'm telling you, medical reviewer must be very sharp that they identify. You won't believe that, really. Last week, I'm telling you, last week I was traveling from Udaipur to Chandigarh in the flight, and there was a girl like who was having the printouts of something, and you won't believe that since she sat on, sat in the flight until she, like deboarded the flight in Chandigarh. She was just reading the papers and writing down the notes, and she was highlighting the problems or highlighting whatever was the issue in that document. And in the whole flight she just read 4 to 5 documents in 2 hours flight. And see, then I mean, see, so that document was something legal document for some firm agreement. Okay, that was some agreement. I saw it like she was sitting to the next row. Okay, I saw that that was a legal agreement of something. So why I'm telling you, because that is the job of a reviewer. Okay, critically checking or critically assessing the document. Okay, and wherever you feel suspicious, you go and check the data, you go to the root cause and check everything. Okay, that is the task of a reviewer. So to acha, when I'm telling that you have to go to the root cause whenever you feel suspicious, so to achieve this state in your career, to achieve, like suppose I'm giving you one clinical trial report, okay, or I'm giving you one patient safety report, okay, PSUR, or patient safety update report, or I'm asking you to review that, right? I'm asking you to review a patient safety report, okay, and there is a data which you feel this data is incorrect. Like suppose maybe the data is written like these two factors are associated closely. Okay, these two factors are associated closely clinically but not statistically, and still the p value is 0.05, right? So definitely you will feel suspicious. Okay, you will feel suspicious. The statement is clinically and statistically, right? So my question to all of you is very simple. To reach this state in medical reviewing, what should be your expertise? How much knowledge do you want? And what kind of knowledge and skills you must have? Tell me, guys. Yes, to reach this state, what kind of knowledge you must have? What kind of experience you must have to reach this state? Tell me. Yep. Simple question or hard? Yes, guys, tell me. Fast, fast. To reach this state of medical reviewing or being a medical reviewer, what kind of experience, what kind of skills do you have or you must have? Tell me. What kind of knowledge you must have? Yep. To review the articles and assessment, yes. Guidelines. We should have in-depth knowledge of GCP practices, GCP principles, okay, guidelines, and okay, then understand how studies are designed, yes. Okay, what else? Quick review summarizing the finding errors, okay. I'm getting fantastic results, guys, fantastic results. Yes, anyone else? Knowledge about the ethical issues, guidelines, legal documents, deep subject knowledge, okay. Yes, publication standards, journal guidelines, very nice. Okay, anything else? Anything else? See, till now I saw guidelines. First of all, guidelines you should be up to date. Understanding how studies are designed, clinical research. Ultimately, full clinical research, you should understand the guidelines, design, study design, ethical concerns, protocol, everything. Okay. You should be thorough with the clinical research, ICH, GCP guidelines, or any guidelines. Quick review, summarize, and finding errors means sharpness. Sharpness of grammar, sharpness of statistics, sharpness of subject, sharpness of anatomy, physiology, sharpness of medical terminologies, sharpness of pharmacology, sharpness of, lot of things. Knowledge about ethical issues, legal documentation. Yes, publication standard. You should be aware of what it should be there. Regulatory affairs, medical affairs, knowledge about drug, medical. I mean, see, you should be not only one thing, you have answered the whole subject. I'm telling you, the whole course, guys, you have summarized just now. So, to become a medical reviewer, what we are teaching is not sufficient. I am telling you, I'm claiming it. What I am teaching or what anyone else will be teaching is not sufficient. You have to read it by yourself. You should be pro in statistics. You should be pro in medical writing. You should be pro in grammar, English. You should be pro in, I mean, your, emotional quotient, emotional intelligence. Everything must be perfect. And your subject knowledge of pharmacology, clinical research, everything should be par. Then only you can become a good medical reviewer. And these are the things you might need in the interview also. So please be prepared, be ready for this. Okay, guys. So we will stop this class here today. I'll be sharing one drug monograph. Okay, you have to find out what else can be done in that monograph. And I will continue this class tomorrow, 11 o'clock. Okay, tomorrow morning, 11 o'clock, we will start again this class. We will continue this class. Okay. Thank you very much, guys. Thank you very much. And questions also I'll take tomorrow. Okay. Questions also I'll take tomorrow. Yep. Thank you, guys. Thank you very much. Bye bye. Good night. Thank you, everyone.